Guys, I'm gonna ask you a question. Question. Gonna ask you a question. Yeah,
let's go for it.
So I had a penguin. Do you remember penguins? Did you ever used to get penguins? Well, when did you come to the UK?
Look, this is where they start shading you. I came when I was
I'm
a
not
teenager.
shading. I'm just asking. Okay, so you never used to
I
get packed lunch in primary school.
Well,
All right, anyways,
I didn't do my primary here, but I do like penguins, and I used to have it from school days.
Linda, you don't know about penguins, do you? But anyways, let me.
I don't even me.
Sorry, I have a joke for you guys.
Does she know about cabin biscuits? What does she mean by penguin?
I know cabin biscuit.
This has to be a joke, so we can laugh.
Okay, so why was the penguin popular?
Because they have flat feet.
Guys, please.
Let me say my answer first. You ready?
Go for it.
Because he was an ice guy.
Not funny at all.
Oh my!
Not funny.
Guys, I think the camera is recording us. Right. Come on, let's introduce ourselves.
Hi guys, I'm Cynthia.
Hi, my name is Oyinda Mola, but you can call me Yenda without the O.
Oh God.
And my name is Abby. Welcome to our podcast called It Isn't Always Black or White.
Here in our podcast, we dive into the colorful worlds of opinions. We're going to chat, we're going to debate on life's most interesting topics, giving you different views on it.
Yeah, whether it's money, relationships, family, or anything in between, get ready to have a lively conversation with us. And remember, nothing is black or white. Okay,
so on that note, let's... I don't know. How do we start? This is our first episode.
Let's get right into it, I guess. I don't know.
So.
All right. So I think I have a question. A question well, we spoke about it when we went to Center Park. So it would be good to just like touch on it again, because obviously when we were having a conversation, things got a bit heated. But who do you think should have the responsibility or whose responsibility is it raising kids in the UK? Let's not in the Western world. So let's say America, US is America. Apologies. so like US and the UK, like who do you think's responsibility is to help raise the child? Obviously, legally, it is the parents. We get that. We understand that. But there's a saying that says it takes a village to raise a child.
A whole community.
A whole community. And the reason why I'm asking that question, again, we've had this conversation and you see it differently. Obviously, you teach kids in church.
Apparently, I meant to laugh like low key because like it's really like unladylike. So
okay, so you have I'm just gonna put you in the classification of a teacher. So a doctor, a teacher.
Teaching church, Sorry, we have to take that right back. I'm actually a teacher of sciences. So you got biology, chemistry, physics, chemistry at quite A levels in university. So please don't limit me to like.
All right, doctor, because you're a different type of doctor, aren't you? You did a PhD and all of that.
Let's just talk about.
Can you just ask your question?
And obviously I'm a parent.
No, hold on. I genuinely thought that you were going to say, I know like these guys are all talking about how professional they are. In my world, I'm also a parent.
Yeah, but I'm a parent. My profession doesn't have anything to do with raising kids. Okay, like we all have different aspects in regards to kids, and this is what the conversation was about when we went to Center Park. So I believe that it takes a village to raise kids today.
Do you know?
I do, because I personally believe that as much as we want to say, oh yeah, it's a parent's responsibilities, and we make jokes about when, guys turn out bad, like it was their mother that raised them and stuff like that. However, I feel like...
Why is he always guys? I don't get it. Don't women turn out bad?
Because men these days are just so badly behaved. Like, let's not even talk about that. That's just a different topic. Just so badly behaved.
Like she literally came with like a gun and
you know what you've done, right? You've just alienated our male fans. Guys, come on, don't listen to her, You guys are like...
Women are badly behaved too, but you men are on a different...
Okay, come back to the kids.
Thing.
Come back to the kids.
Okay, so the kids. So I feel like it's everybody. I feel like it's teachers. I feel like it's.
I think the question should be if it's a shared responsibility, because yes, it's everyone's responsibility to raise the child. It falls on multiple shoulders, but the parents have the primary responsibility because
Legally,
at the end of the day,
legally,
if a child was to go bad, they bear the full brunt.
Yeah, but that's
not the government, not the school.
But that's what I'm saying. I'm not asking legally. You're talking about legally, because when you say it's the parent, don't get me wrong. Yes, I brought the child into the world and stuff like that. But it's the reason why I'm saying that is because by the end of the day, I will take my son to school and he will be in school from 8:30 to 3:30. People that do after school clubs till 6:00, and then you would have, let's say, Miss Hannah from somewhere saying, "Oh, Mrs. Lowell, can I talk to you for a second about your son?" And it's just that, and they will ask, "Oh, so what's going on at home?" He's at school most of the time. So what's going on at school? Like, what bad behavior has he picked up from school? So in that sense, he is at school most of the time, because by the time he comes home, he is he does his work for an hour. He eats, plays for half an hour and goes to bed. And that's his routine Monday to Friday. I'm probably with him Saturdays and Sundays. So how much could I actually influence I can teach him morals to a certain degree.
Yeah, but I feel like that initial teaching of morals is what is really important. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I get what you're saying. The kids spend most of their hours in school. The kids pick up a lot in school. Even if you teach them the morals, they mix up with other children and they learn a lot of stuff in school. I get that. I hear you. But at the end of the day, it's still your responsibility as the parent. And as I've said this earlier, I feel like the government, school, everyone, even the community, back home because I spent most of my life in Nigeria anyways. So back home, it's a community, a village that raises the child. Even the neighbors that were not there when your parents were giving birth to you will join to raise you. Do you understand me? But at the end of the day, I feel like the parents are, if we were to share the responsibility, they take up more percentage, because if anything goes wrong or right, it still falls back still falls back on you as a parent. If your child goes on and becomes really smart, yes, they'll ask, "Oh, what school do you go to?" But it's your son name, it's your family name. Does that make sense? That's on.
Okay,
that's on the line.
I see that.
But then it just sounds like we're talking about from a legal standpoint.
I'm not even legal. I don't know anything about a legal standpoint.
No, finish.
No, because in saying that, you're saying that it's the parent's responsibility, blah, blah, blah. I get that. It is my child. But in saying it's my child, I'm not able to discipline my child the way I want to discipline my child.
Oh, no, because
because for instance, I just feel like children of nowadays, there is no consequences in what happens. It's illegal to smack your kids. And back in my days, you give your child a little bap and their head will correct. Like whatever, do you get what I mean? But you do it in this day and age and your child can get taken away from you. So if we're in and I know all you people that are doing soft parenting, keep it to yourself, yeah? That's for you and your kids. My household.
Be careful now. Be careful. Okay. Be careful now.
Yeah, not saying that I beat my child, because my child is a very good child.
Be careful.
That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is soft parenting doesn't work for every child, right? Again, I'm not saying abuse, because when I was younger, and I'm very sure most of you guys, when you were younger, you'd get a tap on the hand or you get a tap on the bum if you've misbehaved.
Tap on the face.
But now,
or a knock on your head.
On the face.
Or they'll tell you to pick pin or ride bicycle or do. But nowadays, you tell your kids to do that. They'll tell you, "Mummy, I'm going to call the social services."
Okay, let's come back to I think we shouldn't I find it interesting that when you talked about there's legal responsibilities, which is obviously written in law, that if something happens to you, if your child doesn't go to school, for example, in the UK, you'll get fined. You can literally be persecuted for it. So it's quite a big thing. But you're talking about the way that child turns out, so how they behave, right? So you don't want to get a call from school to say, "Oh, hi, miss, your son hit somebody else," right? Or they're not well spoken, or they're behaving badly. You're like, so what should I do about it? That's your opinion.
Not necessarily.
What should I do about it?
Not necessarily. No. The way teachers come at you, again, they haven't come at me like that because my child is not like that. But the way teachers come at parents is like, "Oh, is there anything going at home that we need to speak about?" No, there is not. Sometimes there is, but don't come at it from that angle. We are all, as far as I'm concerned, we are all raising this child.
I get that, and I agree with you.
And
Though
that's why I say it's a joint responsibility.
But
And as well, why I say, hold on, and another reason why I say it is the responsibility of the government is because if things go wrong, social services get involved.
Yeah,
and there was an issue in regards to, you know, somebody not feeling safe because their parents didn't want to give them their phone back. And they took them away from the house because she was like, I no longer feel safe, because the punishment her mum gave her is that, you can't have your phone anymore. And she called up the authority and said, well, I don't feel safe anymore. And then they took her to a safe haven, be in a hospital. So whose responsibility is it that? The parent has tried to, she didn't beat her child. She tried to give her a certain type of punishment. But in doing so, her child has been, maybe it's not permanently, but even just that hour, even if it was just an hour, you've now taken responsibility of my child.
Coming back to, let's talk about what you mentioned, right? So having been in the education field, right, you get parents that you would ring up, and you know, teachers out there can probably relate to this. And you're like, hi, miss, how are you? Or actually, it's when they make a complaint. Apparently today you were being condescending to my child. And my child said this, and you said what she said was wrong, and you embarrassed in front of the whole class. So I demand that as you have embarrassed in front of the whole class, I make a demand as a parent that you apologize to my child in front of the whole class, because it is your job that you're doing. And part of your job is to be patient. And you're thinking, what the anyway? But it comes to the idea that there are different institutions in terms of parenting a child or raising a child. So you've got the education, you've got schools, you've got family, you've got community, you've got the government. You know, when we talk about the government, we talk about social services and how Black people love social services. But so we start to think about like, what responsibilities do we actually play? So I completely agree with you that the child does spend most of their time in school, absolutely. But I also see your point, which is, if we look at like the racism matrix, who's responsible, accountable for the child, right? So school, at the point when they're in school, the authority, you know, the head teacher, all the teachers, safeguarding and so on and so forth, are responsible for the child. But the truth is the accountability of that child always falls on the parents. That's why you see parents right now, your child is like 35 and they're living at home. They're still feeding off you. They can't fend for themselves. They don't have a job because, I don't want to blame you now. This is going to sound really, really tricky, but because like, they weren't raised properly. Raise your child properly. And then they can stand on their own 2 feet. You don't have to take responsibility for them for the rest of their life. But it's the idea that...
I don't think it's about raising your child properly. Because I feel like you can raise your child to the best way you can.
And the child decides not to work.
Yeah. I was going to say, sometimes it literally takes the grace of God to raise a child.
Okay. Now they put it to the church institution.
Yeah.
Now they put it to God. Okay, go on.
No, because sometimes you'll see 2 or 3 like children from the same household, the same parents in the same school, the same everything, and they turn out differently. So also because I think personality of the child's personality also comes into play. But I think going back to Abby's point, I was just going to make a point of your child spends 1 year in a class. So you keep saying school, but you're the teacher as an individual who's focused on training your child.
What do you mean 1 year? I'm very sure we spent more than a year
1 year
in school.
in a class.
Okay.
So they keep
not necessarily. You're thinking primary now.
We're talking about
I get that, but I'm trying to make a point.
So they spend about 7 years. Let's just make it clear though. They spend 7 years in primary, including reception. They spend, hold on a second, they then spend about 5 years in secondary. Then they spend 2 years in sixth form or higher education.
And another 3
then they
years
spend
minimum.
about 3-4 years, right, at university. So they spend more time in school.
They spend
It's still your responsibility, love, as a parent.
1 year in a class.
Depends.
With a particular teacher.
You're talking about primary now, but yeah. Fair enough.
And then the next year they move to a different class. Most times a different teacher.
Fair.
And then you have children come back and tell you, oh, I like this teacher, I don't like this teacher. This teacher picks on me, that one. What I'm just trying to say is, I 100% agree that a school has a responsibility. When your child is in school, they have a responsibility to keep your child safe. They have a responsibility to make sure your child is not bullied. They have a lot of responsibility if you're even going to go down the legal route. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to the morals of the child, it also depends on the teacher. You cannot, maybe I'm saying that because personally, I don't think you can't, because it changes. It actually changes. You have, as a child, I remember certain teachers that I'm like, oh yeah, this teacher taught me and this teacher I loved. and that teacher, if I see that teacher now, I will run. Do you understand? But you are literally, I think what I'm just trying to say is you are one thing that's constant in that child's life. While they keep going through school, they keep going through life, they keep going through primary, secondary school, the school has a responsibility, but it's not the same as the parent. I think that's just all I'm trying to say.
I do agree to an extent, but I think what's interesting about schools, right? And I think we need to, as someone that has spent a lot of time in the education sector, is thinking as there's been a whole shift in the way parents raise their children, right? So you said about back in the days, you get a little smack in the bum, you get a little smack in the face,
but all of that's from the government.
But now we're limited in what we can do with our kids.
I don't disagree, but at the same time, our mindset has also changed, and it might be because we are limited. But let's talk about even in parts of Africa where kids still get smacked. You still get like headbutt and so on and so forth. But literally knock you.
That's child abuse if you're getting clip you
on the head. Okay, yeah, African parents, child abuse, they are coming for you. But I think even there is a whole shift as to how parents are now finger pointing to schools. So lots of parents are taking that responsibility and putting it on the school to be like, my child is with you. You sort my child out. You have conversations with parents who would say, but what am I meant to do?
But I don't think it's shifting responsibilities.
No, hold on. The child is not doing homework. What should I do? Can you just make sure they do all their homework in school? Then it's no longer homework. It now becomes school.
I think I get what you're trying to say.
No, but at the same time, so you're saying that yes, you can't smack your kids or you can't. There are different ways to discipline your child.
And tell me how you can discipline your child without them going to the social services to,
I think, hold on. I don't understand this. So I feel like we're making it seem like it's every child that complains that gets taken away from the social services.
But that's because you threatened your child. Like if you
listen. The next time I tell you to wash the plates, and you know what, I will kill you. But
let's call a spade a spade. And
then the child will go and write a poem. Hold on, the child will go and write a poem in school. Wash the plates or be killed, or you can't wash.
I think that's a bit extreme.
Then they read. No, but are you serious? If you do that again, you will not see tomorrow. Please.
I think I can see how there is passive parenting, there is aggressive parenting, and then there's been assertive. I still want to believe there's a way to be assertive.
Hold on, let's break that down. So there is passive parenting.
Yeah.
So passivity means not being involved. So your child is there like throwing a ball at the wall or throwing it at the TV, and you
my gosh, he's just been a child.
Oh, leave him alone.
Yeah, leave him alone.
Leave him alone. He's a good boy.
You have an 8-year-old talking back. Oh my gosh, don't mind her. She's just been a child. Like that's literally passive.
So that's passive parenting. You let them do what? So passive parenting is your child basically saying to you, Mom, can you just make me food? What are you doing?
Stop being silly.
Yeah,
stop being silly. Oh, you can't say that. Peppa Pig.
Silly, mommy.
Peppa Pig says that. Is that rude?
We don't watch Peppa Pig in my house.
Your child says silly, mommy. Yeah. You're being silly.
Well, not to me. Because at my age, I can't tell my mommy
we don't watch Peppa Pig.
Please don't let your children watch Peppa Pig.
We don't watch Peppa Pig.
Okay. So passive parenting, to your definition, is letting your child get away with murder, do whatever they want, and
I'm just blaming it on the fact that he's just a child.
Or you say things like, "Oh, that's that's just boys, isn't it? That's what boys do."
Yeah.
Like
you're giving them free will, because I 100% believe that for everyone, not even for even children and adults, we adults, boundaries and consequences are the reason why we all behave. If not, we can go to work in our bikinis.
But we don't have boundaries and consequences these days, though, do we?
So that's where I'm going in.
That's where the government comes in.
So that's passive parenting, because I really want us to dive into like what the different types are.
Yeah, so then we have the aggressive ones, of course.
Ooh, aggressive
ones, and I think that was speaking about the extremes.
Are those like Asians and Africans only?
I'm not calling any race.
Okay,
but would you classify Nigeria? Let's be honest. Would you classify how we were brought up in the past as aggressive parenting?
I think it would be very, very unfair to classify how Nigerians. I was not brought up in
Ghanaians.
Do Ghanaians and Sierra Leoneans get the brunt as well?
They get it, They get little canes here and there. Carry on.
I think it's quite unfair to say Nigerians bring their children up in an aggressive way. Some people, hold on.
Let's define aggression. Hold on. Sorry, in my world, right? Everything is definition. What does aggression actually mean?
Some people take it to the extreme. When they hit their kids on the wall, they use sticks to hit.
But that's
or,
well.
I even know. I've even heard. To be fair, I've even heard people. I remember being in secondary school, and someone came to school, and the dad, I think he failed an exam or something, and his dad had used like a chair to literally. So there is like there are extremes.
Okay.
But I do know that back home they don't do passive.
Let's talk about light.
Most people don't do passive.
So guys, we're not saying you're aggressive.
but
we're saying strict parenting.
Wait, no, hold on.
Because
So there's levels because
that's what
I
I'm saying.
used to get caned. I used to get beats. But I don't think I would classify
that as aggressive.
I don't think I would. When I look back at it, I deserve those beats. Gosh. Do you know when they say some kids are from God and some kids are from?
Can you give us an example of where? Because I know that young people and children are going to watch your show, so we want you to understand, from First Lady's perspective, when you deserve.
When you deserve to be
so
caged.
Please tell us.
Do you know what? I don't know any examples from the top of my head.
Tell us what.
However, I can say I was a very naughty child.
Okay,
I was a naughty child to the point I got sent to Nigeria to understand the Nigerian culture.
Did it make any difference?
That is like a level.
To the point, levels. I got expelled from a bad school.
Please, let's
imagine being in one of the baddest schools that you still got expelled.
In the UK.
Yeah, I got expelled at the beginning of year 8.
Oh God!
I was a terror. So my beats were. But looking back at that, I wouldn't say that my mum was an aggressive parent.
She was strict, yeah.
She was. But she was strict because she wasn't like that with any of the other kids. There's
just
3 of us. It was just
you brought out the aggression.
I don't want her to condition.
Yeah, so I don't want to say she was strict because obviously, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there's parents out there that are not strict. But you two, come on, look at your child and your situation, or if a child is watching it, how are you behaving for your parents to behave in a certain type of way?
Let's come back to that, right? For someone that is talking about being like you deserve those beats, right? So your mom obviously felt that she was responsible for you. She didn't expect the school to do those things. So much so that she removed you from school and be like, you're going back to Nigeria to
She was not removed from school. The school sent her away.
No,
the school said, we've had enough. We've not had enough of First Lady Abby.
No, but the thing is, but then at the same time, your mom could have put you in a different school, but she decided to take the responsibility.
When you get expelled from secondary school, what schools? I said, we went Arwin. Come on, who is it?
I didn't go Arwin. I don't know what you're talking about.
Where would I have gone to? Would I have gone to Woolworth?
You said we. Who's we? You would have gone to Woolworth, yeah.
Or would I have gone to, what do they call it now? Globe Academy. Jeffrey Chaucer at the time.
You would have gone to a Peru, mate. You got to improve, but anyway, moving on. She don't know what a pro is.
Is it the detention, the center? They used to call it center.
Like a center, yeah, it's a pro.
Center.
So the thing is, okay, but your mom took responsibility for you and took you back to Nigeria, but she didn't even have to. But she used to give you beats to try and correct the madness that was inside your head somewhere was stuck, right? So
the way she's nodding her head, she's remembering some of those.
So the thing is, right? Why would you now then think that it's now the school's responsibility to raise your child?
No, because your mom didn't think so. I said it's a joint.
No, that was not what you said at the start.
I didn't say it's the school's responsibility. I said it takes a village, meaning it's everybody plays their part.
But you're most accountable for your child.
I'm accountable.
So to think like that.
Yeah, but accountable and responsible, they're two different things.
No, but that's the problem in society now, because a lot of I think parents, especially in the Western world, are now thinking that actually it is your responsibility to raise my child. You know, you have like parents actually believing that if my child turns out bad, it's your fault. However, I want to caveat that because I think it's really, really important to talk to educators out there as well. The whole idea of the school institution is to enable inclusion, is to enable kids from different backgrounds to be able to get the same level of education, the same level of morals, to be able to have the same opportunities in life. For you to do that as an educator, for a school to do that, you must make the environment conducive. That means you must take some level of high responsibility to train those children on morals, on equality, you know, the British values, right? Equality, accepting people for who they are. So as much as, because some parents here, let's not lie, at some point in the show, we're going to talk about racism. I'm not looking forward to that. But some parents can be, some human beings are racist, and they're going to train their children to be racist.
And they're going
to come to school with those opinions. So your child, and that's why I think that parents need to talk more to their kids at home, to find out who they're friends with, to find out what they learned at school. But it's also a school's responsibility to train those British, to basically teach those British values.
And I'm going to
however, the accountability is still on you as a parent.
I'm going to come from another angle as well. So you work, right? Everybody here works.
We have to make money.
What hours do you work?
I don't want to work.
What hours do you work?
9 to 5 and hold on.
No. That I haven't
9 to 5 and 5 to 9. This is my 5 to 9.
Okay, so 9 to 5, and you have kids at home.
No, I didn't say that, but
Okay.
if you had kids at home.
Okay, so you have 9 to 5, right? And what time do your kids go to school?
Oh, kids go to school between 8:30 and probably 3:30. They do after school club. They're there till 6. These children, they are working out nowadays.
So you haven't seen them.
Absolutely.
At that point,
Yeah.
right? You finish work at 5. Obviously, we do work from home, but
Look at this. This is why she's first lady. How many of you guys are working from home, fam?
Hold on.
She's working from home. That's why she's able to talk like this.
But when you go to the office, you finish at 5, and what time do you get home?
I don't know. What time do you guys get home? 6:37?
6:37. And you go and pick up your kids from after school club.
You go and pick up your kids.
Okay. And then when you pick up your kids and you get home, you do what?
What do you do, guys? They eat? Do they eat? Do they eat?
Try to make
They've had
conversation
dinner.
with them.
They've
How
had
was
dinner.
school?
Okay.
Well, if you are not too tired, is it you that you've
but
got
that's
to
what
go
I'm
and
saying.
do
I
like
want us to be,
hold
like,
on.
realistic.
You've got to
Give
do
me a
care
day.
work. One you work in a mental home. One of the guys are giving you a knock on the
Okay.
head, remove
On
your
your
wig.
head.
When you come back
to be
home,
fair,
you don't have
to be
time
fair,
to make small
and
talk.
It can't be day to day,
and
but
again,
it's
this is
there.
where the government comes involved. Right?
Okay.
Because our working hours, people that are
So
in the
now you
office,
want the government to reduce your working hour?
Obviously, everybody does.
Hold on, Keir
not
Starmer, you
everybody
listening
does.
to this?
Not everybody
You know what,
does.
Keir
9 to
Starmer
5.
is actually proposing 4 days. 4 days working.
Let me
God.
land. So obviously there are people that do shift work, but I'm even just talking about the most simplest example that I can give, right? We work 9 to 5, and even at that 9 to 5, you're leaving your house around 7, between 7 and 8, depending on where you're coming from. So you have to get your kids ready for school, blah, 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 blah. So make it make sense to me. You work 9 to 5, right? And your kids' school is even 8:30 till 3:30. Just in that simple sense. Now, when I say the government is also, they also play a part in how, even as parents, we raise our kids. How does that help us?
Sorry, I only have one answer to that.
Okay.
Who sent you?
Who sent you to
Make
what?
you born? Who sent you? Why are you having a kid? Sorry,
You might decide not to.
So you're
let me say
saying how you
something.
can combat that, because by the end of the day, and the reason I feel that's an unfair statement to make is
How?
because some people get things happen to people in life
That makes
and
them
they
have children.
and they don't agree to maybe get rid of the child, and they've decided to have that child.
Again, let's come back to that. Who sent you?
Yeah, but
Hold on.
No,
Because you said no.
I think that's very insensitive, because you
Really?
don't know what's because it's.
You're talking about the minority.
No, it doesn't matter.
That's still a minority.
It's still an example.
The
Because
majority-
because you're saying who sent you.
Who sent you?
But some people, like I said, in that scenario that you're saying, you can't say who sent you.
Sorry, let's come back to this.
All right, hold on,
Again,
hold on.
this is sorry. So this is the Gen. Is it the Gen's? Hey,
It has
Gen
nothing
Z.
to do-
No, hold on.
No, it
I'm
has
not saying
nothing
you're
to
Gen Z.
do
You're too
like
old to be
that.
Gen Z. Please. La joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. First, that you're a young girl. If you're Gen Alpha, right? Let's come back. Let's come back before I forget. Yeah. Apparently, I need to laugh more poshly. Okay, let's come back. Right? You said. Oh God, the posh laughter is gone.
Guys,
Sorry,
really
you said because
really
I'm trying to
backing.
try to remember what you said. You said what you say?
Wait, hold on.
No, hold on. I have to try to remember this because I had a really good point. Yes. Who sent you? It's like, you know what, and this is the Gen Z problem, or like the.
It has nothing to do with
Hold
Gen Z.
on, wait. I said you're not Gen Z. I've
Let
already
us
said. Are you a
make
Gen Z?
Yeah, but you can't keep saying it's a Gen Z problem.
Okay. All these young people of nowadays.
It has nothing to do with young people
Wait,
of nowadays.
now, sure.
Because I can say the parents as well.
This is
the
gonna
parents
make me
didn't
forget
know
what
how-
I wanna say,
The parents didn't know how to. Who sent?
Right,
alright,
audience, right, guys. When you're watching the show, can you please call her out to let me speak? What I'm trying to
No,
make
don't call me out.
Okay. Drag her. Okay, no, let's be serious, yeah? This young people now, yeah, you expect everything to be given to you. Oh God, that sounds really. I love young people, but nowadays,
no, you don't.
people,
Clearly not. 'Cause I don't understand
wait,
young
let me
people.
finish, please. People expect everything to be handed to them, right? And that's, the government. What's the government in Nigeria, right? Or in Ghana? There's no like child benefit. None of those things exist, right?
I'm not talking
so
about child
if you
benefit.
wait now, but I'm just saying, you're talking about the fact that the government makes us work like 9 to 5, or the government should do something to help parents. And I don't disagree. And a lot of governments in the developing world, maybe not in Nigeria, they don't send you. They are putting things in place, like free childcare for like over 2-year-olds and 30 hours and so on and so forth, which is fantastic because they want people to work. work, and that's because they want the
It's
economy.
fantastic if the government pays their part that they need to pay to the nurseries. Because in saying that, they're saying that they're paying towards nurseries, and the nurseries have to do their thing to £100 a day.
Because they want the economy to work, they get parents to go back to work or parents to work, so you can contribute, taxes, and so they don't do it because they love you, because they want the economy to work. But anyway,
which is not working, so that's a fail.
This woman,
Abby, are you upset?
I am upset because
you're trying to say
it's not working, because you're saying, the economy needs to work and stuff.
All right, can I finish? Yeah. So my point, right? I've been trying to make this point for 5 bloody minutes.
Make the point.
I don't even swear. You make me swear on the show.
Make the point.
Anyway, my point is that you're choosing to have a child in most scenarios, right? There are the minority of cases where things have happened. Your body, you're the woman, your body, your decision. That's my opinion. But we'll talk about that, I'm sure, another show. But in majority of the cases, you are choosing to have a child. If you choose to have a child and go back to university to study whilst you have a baby, that is your choice. So you need to stretch yourself more because you've decided to do more. If you're deciding that, I need to work, I want to be a career woman and I want to have a child, I couldn't care less if your child spent 7 hours in school and they spend 2 hours with you. When you get them, you make out time to talk to your child. You make out time to make sure they eat healthily. You don't just give them fry-ups. That's your choice because you chose to bring that child into the world. The school did not ask you to open your legs and have a baby.
Do you know what? Do you know what I don't 100% agree with that?
Because you 80%.
Because without people being born, obviously your economy cannot
without people being born.
To the point that there's even certain countries that they're offering you $35,000 to have a child. But that's even by the way. I think what you're missing my point. I'm not saying that it's not the responsibilities of the parents. It's the responsibility of the parents. I get that.
And accountability.
You take time to understand what's happening in your child's life, blah, blah, blah.
Good.
However, listen to the however. What I'm saying is that it takes a village to raise a child.
And I don't disagree with that.
Everybody's responsibility.
Nobody here has disagreed with that.
Yeah, but when you're saying that, it's yes, they go to school, but as a parent, you should.
Nobody has disagreed.
We are limited.
With your point,
I believe in this day and age, right, that we are limited to the things we can do.
So I think hold on.
But teachers are more limited.
Hold on. I was going to make that point, so hold on. I think that since we've started this conversation, all I've been hearing, because I've literally said the list here, all I've been hearing is we've all been saying the same thing.
Okay.
Yes, it's a shared responsibility. Whether or not it's 50-50,
is it equal?
Or it's 75-80 or whatever, we all agree it's a shared responsibility. I think one point that I'm trying to make clear to Abby is if you're saying that, but the government has limited us, the school is also limited. Very limited. So the school is also limited. Every other person that partakes in this responsibility, we are all limited. It's not just parents cannot beat their kids, but the school can, or parents cannot talk to their kids. A student can go, that teacher said this to me, and then that's it. Do you understand? So it is, and I think this brings us back into this whole aggressive, passive, and being assertive. And I was going to make a point that I have aunties that are teachers in the UK, and they are very assertive with their students.
They're all leaving in droves, though. Just so that you know, teachers are leaving. Who's going to teach your kids?
They're being very assertive. And see, 100%, I get it. My mom, and I always said this, that I don't think I ever saw my mom in the morning. I was probably in secondary school. She used to leave work home at 4 a.m. I'm still sleeping then. And will not be back till 1 a.m. You might not know Nigeria, but for people that know, we're living at Ikotu, and she was working on the island. So imagine how early she had to wake up. But she still
well done, mommy. Shout out.
She still found time during the weekends to catch up. Do you understand? To catch up. What have you learned in school? Who are your friends? I think where parents need to, because I feel like parents are doing a good job already, but I feel like one part that we need to speak on is catching up. Don't just leave it to the school. Find out, hi darling, how was school? What are your, because if you actually talk to these children, they will talk to you back. And you find out what exactly is going in school, because even the teachers can't imagine how many teachers to how many students in a school. I did school, so I don't know.
30 to 1.
So if it's 30 to 1, how much of one-to-ones do they get? Do you understand?
Very little.
So even at that, things get lost in between. So you still get home and then you have the one-to-one or you have the one-to-two.
But just to add to that, because something keeps on popping into my head, right? And I think it's really important to call this out at this point, is that actually as a parent, and coming back to First Lady's point, and not to discard that at all, that we do have a shared responsibility. So when it comes to like teachers, when it comes to, pastoral support in schools, when it comes to parents, when it comes to your neighbor, I think the probably the most beautiful time where this works perfectly for the child is when all of these institutions work together. I think that is so key. So if you get a call from your kid's school and say there is a problem, instead of saying, what did you do? What happened? What did that child do? Just listen and then actually go into the school and have conversations with the teacher, with your child. With your child. And work, just like as parent, and if you come from like a traditional home where you have mom and dad, right? The best probably way of parenting is not to argue about your child in front of your child. So it's the idea that, actually, Angela, do you want to step outside for us? And as a parent, really listen to what the school has to say about your child and vice versa. So when they ask you what's happening at home, you say to them, actually, at home is actually quite stable. Nothing much is, nothing much is changing in the past like 1 month or 2 weeks. But I can see that what you're saying, maybe there are subtle changes in my child. What's happening in school? Exactly. Is there like a new kid? Is there is she changed seating plan? So I think as a parent, it's really, really important, just like you would in your home, as partners, is discussing your child in a way that you both have the same common interest, which is for that child to turn out right. I would say as a parent to always support and understand from a school's perspective. And as a school, because education we get is so wrong as well, because of that ratio of 30-1. They don't know everything. So you can't take everything they say and be like, and this is where parents, especially African parents, have problems with their children, because the school has said your child did this to this child. You're like, listen, when we get to him, you will tell me what you won't listen to your child. I think that's also such a bad thing, because then you're believing 100% that the school is perfect, but they're not perfect. They're humans as well. So I think it's always having that conversation and knowing that we have the best interest of the child, both your neighbor, except if you have a wicked neighbor, but your neighbor, your own parent, your grandparents, they have the same vested interest. So it's working together. That's actually what makes a wholesome child.
But I think from what Abby even said,
in regards to discipline, I just feel like for kids at the moment, there's no consequences. I'm not even just talking about kids, even in regards to adults. Look at the guy that, and whatever you want to say in the comments, that's your business. I think we need to bring back
that's your business.
We need to bring the death penalty. We need to bring
did I just say
and because
oh my God, really?
The thing is, like, I don't see why it's okay for you to take someone's life.
Okay, let's sorry guys, I apologize. Like, we're not gonna go into this woman is trying to get our show. You want to get us
but what I'm saying, I think the point
on.
I'm trying to make is
discipline
in this country, and I think where we're meant to have free speech, like human rights. I don't feel like I take that back in regards to America, because I think in some states in America, if you kill, you will be killed. There's the death penalty. Do you get what I mean? But I just feel like there is no consequences. And from what I've never been to prison, but from what I hear, like in the UK, like the prison system is not even a great prison system. Like you go, there's like two people in a room. Let's
be very, very careful here, because we know that freedom is everything. So I think even when someone is not free and they can't move, they can't see the outside world, that's a different level of punishment. So let's not dive into that right now.
Because from what I've heard is even in prisons they have PlayStation. Why do you have PlayStation? Please. You're there for punishment. Why are you playing?
She's heard. Let's go back to the child. This is trying to get us in trouble.
But no, it's not about getting into trouble. That's part of consequences. There's no like, if you go look, if
because you're making prison you're making prison seem like some kind of fun place. Guys, we're gonna do a topic. We're gonna do a topic on prison now, because we need to look at what that actually looks like.
Let me finish.
To deter people, don't go prison.
Because the thing is, like, there's some people, if they are homeless, they will do petty crimes to go in because they feel like it's easier. Do you think people in Mexico, you want to go to a Mexican prison?
Why are you going too far? Do you want to go to Kiri?
As in,
Kiri.
Like, you have 100.
But hold on. I think
there's no discipline and there's no consequences.
I think I get where Abby's coming from, and I'm gonna say something I've been trying to jump in
before we round up in 2 minutes.
Hold on.
We need to round up in 2 minutes, guys.
I'm gonna say something I've been trying to jump in.
First lady's like, she's even eyeing me. Why are you eyeing me?
Make their point.
Finish.
Say it. Abby agreed with you initially about the whole that the school and I are supposed to work together, but Abby made a point. You come at me as if there's a problem. There must be a problem from the house. So I think that also goes to, I totally agree with everything you've said, but I think where Abby is coming from, let's change the approach. Let's change how we approach it. Oh, Mrs. Lawal, I feel like we have to have a conversation about your child. And that is like an icebreaker. And then you come and say, oh, what's happened?
Yes.
Oh, I've noticed this.
It depends on Mrs. Lawal's mood, though.
No, but hold on.
Sometimes you say that the parents that, what you mean? What happened to my child? I don't get that.
But hold on, but I get that.
Just so that you know.
If I call Mrs. Lawal and I say, hi, Mrs. Lawal, I feel like there's something that's happened in school. Oh, it's not a problem, but I think you need to come in and have a conversation.
You are still assuming that Mrs. Lawal is bad.
No, hold on.
Some parents are not
but
well.
But that is very different
saying.
from, oh, Mrs. Lawal, is there a problem
is there
at
anything
home?
happening at home?
That puts you that makes you defensive already. That makes you feel like, wait, hold on.
Exactly.
Excuse you?
What makes you exactly?
Yeah,
What do you think is going on?
100%.
And then they go like, oh, I've noticed some changes in children.
But most teachers don't start like that, and I just want to call that out.
No, that's what I just wanted to say. I just wanted to say I agree with you about conversations, but let the school and then the parents let's all approach it in a way that both parties will be comfortable.
They're never happy, but okay.
And they'll put the child in the center.
Okay, but the question is, you talked a lot about the government and the restrictions on parents and teachers in terms of discipline. So would we say, and I think that it's a really, really hard one. We should be
able to smack our child.
But a lot of people don't know the difference between discipline and abuse. And I think that's 100%. The reason why it's really hard for the law to change on that.
Yeah.
And that's why even in Scotland now, you can't, in the UK, quote me, but you can still smack your child.
I don't think you can.
You can't hit your child. You can. Open palm.
Who's going full blown punches with their child?
But
some people do.
But then that is abuse.
That is abuse.
But that is abuse.
Do.
But
some African parents would gladly disagree with you. If you've done
something and I've smacked your hand, if you go into school and let's say my son says, oh, mummy smacked me on my hand, there is going to be a problem.
No, but I feel like this is where you as a parent become assertive.
Okay.
Yes, the government has made a rule. Yes, the government has said
but
I'm not allowed to abuse my child. And I'm not going to abuse my child. But I gave birth to this child. This is my child, is my responsibility.
But they will still take that child from you, babe.
I don't think
if you hit the child enough to
please, social workers, please comment. Can you please comment underneath?
I think they have to be able to prove
hold on.
that you've abused
I think that's
the
a key thing to say.
Social workers, anybody that's listening, please could you comment underneath this podcast and let us know the rules in regards to, you know, smacking your child. Is the what did you say, 5?
I think palm, open palm.
Open palm. Can you, like, if a child was to go to school the next day and say, mummy smacked me or daddy smacked me on the bum or on the hand for, I don't know, not anything but being naughty, would they get into trouble? Would they open a social working case, or would a case or a file be opened on that person? I think we need to know.
You have to smack your child to be assertive.
Absolutely, you don't need to.
I don't think
your tone of voice.
Different things work for. I know it. I know some kids. Like I said at the beginning,
that need the smacking.
There are some kids.
I don't think
you know when they say all kids are from God. Na lie.
Some children.
You have some demonic children, and you see those demonic children.
Please, I don't believe in that.
No, I believe.
Anyway,
because you said you don't have demonic children.
I don't believe in demonic children.
So little kids that go to.
Let's lady, please, don't drag me.
Okay.
But I think one thing that has happened today is we've all been able to literally, like, I'm actually quite happy we had this conversation because we've been able to dive into this from different perspectives. Like we all have. Some people believe in smacking, some people don't. I don't believe you need to smack to raise a child. You can be more assertive.
Each to their own.
But I feel like this conversation we can't fully discuss this conversation because I feel like as this show progresses, we're going to get a social worker.
We need to get professionals.
Yes,
and another qualified teacher.
Wow. Hold on, there's something I was going to mention, you know. I think that in this, especially in the UK where we had a whole influx. Many people come in, jack my parents. I think it's important for you as a parent that is coming from a different country and relocating to a country like the UK or the US or, you know, whatever developed country that you are running to, that you understand how the system works and how your children are, you know, like taught in school. I think that is so key. Do not assume that because you are in the UK, the education system is perfect. It's better than where I'm coming from. It's not always true. And I think understanding how the school system works and understanding what your child is being taught at school and having conversations with your children, and don't expect that they will come back fine because they've gone to Unyibo school. Please. No, but it's such a misconception. So I think that as a parent, it's very, very important that you get to know if they call you for a parent meeting or there's parent evening, make sure you make out time to attend, because if that child ends up joining some kind of bad gang here, that care job that you are running to, you will leave it for a week, be attending the school. So please don't be that parent. I think it's so key. I just thought I'd put that out there.
And just
that, get involved.
Yeah,
get involved.
and probably just another thing, like parents. Like, we know you're trying your best. This economy, crazy. It's not easy. You need money to be able to do things for your kids. However, what I will say,
coming from First Lady though,
what I will say is we need to be more intentional with our children.
Absolutely.
We need to be more intentional with our kids, because when we are less involved, that's when outside influences get to them a lot more. And I think this is why parenting nowadays is more harder for our generation.
Yes, it is.
Because our parents will just go outside to work and, work as long as they can just to be able to provide money. I mean, I love money. However, again, sometimes with kids, you need to balance it. Like, I'm still trying to balance. My friends are always saying, Abby, it's not always about work. Like, I'm still trying to balance it. But again, like they say, when your kids go to school, and someone taught me this, it's just as simple as, oh, what made you happy today at school? And what made you sad?
Yeah.
Ask those small questions to your kids.
Keep in touch.
And things like, because at the moment, like I keep saying, there's no children that are from God.
All right, we're gonna end it there.
Yeah, I think Cynthia and First Lady, they've all said it all. And I think one thing that we'll be rounding up with is, not everyone, there's no rule book, there's no school book, there's no one knows, there's not perfect.
It isn't always black or white.
Exactly.
At all. It's whatever works for you in your household.
Whatever works for you and whatever works in your household. And know your child, which is what Abby has said. Know your child and know what works, and then try to build on that.
Absolutely.
Anyways, thank you so much for joining us today on our very, very first podcast. We really hope you enjoyed this as much as we do. We obviously stay tuned. We're going to be having so much more. But till next time, keep your
and don't forget
mind open
to
keep your mind seeing in colors.
Yes, seeing colors.
Black and white.
And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, repost, retweet, reshare. Whatever.
Yes. And we have social handles.
Yes,
so
we do.
We are on TikTok. You can find us. It isn't always black and white. We are on
Instagram,
Twitter, or they know X. They call it X now.
X.
Instagram, and all of those lovely jubbly socials.
Guys, turn on your notification on YouTube so that you can see when we post something new.
All right. Thank you guys. Bye.
That was fun.
God, it's all we can have you.